Transcendental Transformation, the place where spirituality and transformation unite. Host Miss Raina imparts truth so that you can break through your limiting beliefs and evolve into a deeper consciousness. As you go about your day, remember, before every breakthrough, there is a breakdown. And now, let's start the show.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Transcendental Transformation. I'm your host, Miss Raina, and today is Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017. We are coming live from the W4CY studios here in West Palm Beach, and I hope all you guys are doing well. If you can't tell by the sound of my throat already, I have been sick over the past couple weeks, and it sounds like Chad's sick too. He's got a little cough going over there.
You're passing it around.
I must be passing it around, right? Don't blame me always. But yeah, I've been sick. I was in Chicago, obviously, for the hurricanes, and I was batting 1,000 towards the end. I went and got a pedicure, and I got a really bad infection from the place, and it was just nasty. And then I got sick on top of it, and I had to drive home. It was just, it was a really fun 19-hour drive from Chicago to West Palm Beach, being all sick and infected. But yeah, I lost my voice. I wasn't able to do a show last week because I couldn't speak at all. This week, you can hear it's raspy, so I apologize in advance if my throat kind of cuts out on me. But it is what it is, and I'm so excited about this month because it's the month of Halloween or Samhain, and I've always loved this month. This is one of my favorite months of the year. All the spookies come out, and it's all sorts of good stuff. And also, we are approaching our 5th year anniversary. October 15th will be our 5th year of doing the show. Can you believe it? 5 years ago, we turned on the radio mics for the first time. I have a special treat because I have someone very special staying with me over for the last week and the next week coming up. It's my cousin's wife, Sandra, who is actually listening to the show tonight. So I wanted to say a quick little hey to Sandra, and thanks for listening. It's always nice to have family come visit you, isn't it? I'm a loner. Everyone knows that, but I like little visits. No, not many family members come from Chicago to come visit, and so it's really nice to have someone stay with you. Flag football season starts. I'm so excited. I was, if you're watching my social media, I'm so excited because my football season's starting back, and I'm just excited. I have a new team. There's a new group of girls I got to get used to, and every one of them seems really nice. I think I'm really gonna like this team. It's it's hard to find a happy home, and sometimes you think you're on a team that you're gonna get along with, and sometimes you do, some of them, but everyone seems really nice so far, and I'm looking to winning in these upcoming seasons. So I want to take a minute before we get into the show because, if you've been following the news, that there was a tragedy that happened the other day in Las Vegas, and a gunman gunned down about 50 plus, I think it was like 58 or 59 people that died from this incident, and over 400 wounded. Apparently, it was at a concert, things were going on, people were having a good time, and this guy, supposedly, from what the official story is, that this guy just opened fire with machine guns and everything. But the question is, to me, how did someone working in casinos myself, and especially doing security, how did a gunman get all those machine guns past all those cameras through the lobby and everything? Because let me tell you something, in a casino, you are watched from the moment you park your car outside, even like a block away, all the way until you get into your room. So I want to know that because I got a lot of questions, because there's a lot of people that obviously got hurt and some lost their lives, and I just want to know how the hotel passed that, because you can't hide machine guns. They're huge. Even if you take them apart, that's a lot of machinery to get through. So let's take a moment of silence to send some love and some healing to those affected and to those who lost their lives, and hope that these type of incidences occur a lot less. Okay, if you'd like to give us a call, you can call us at 561-623-9429. I will say that I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulty, so if you can't get through on the line, make sure you go onto the W4CY website and web chat us, because I'm looking at the screen right now, and I'm waiting for you guys to come with your comments and everything. If not, you can also download the W4CY radio app, and the archive of this show will be on youtube.com/transcendental transformation. So tonight's show is all about personal happiness, and I don't know too many people that that have achieved this. So many people say, Miss Raina, I'm in a constant search for internal happiness. There are some parts of my life that I that are happy. I maybe I'm married, or maybe I have some kids and they bring me joy. But there's always something still missing, and they look at their life and they wonder why things seem so unfulfilled. So the first questions I'm going to ask you right off the bat is, why are you unhappy with your life? Is this something that we know of? Is this something that just seems to be a miss? Is this something that just seems to be question marks all over? But if we need to ask ourselves this, and who are you unhappy with? Are there people? Are you unhappy with yourself? Are you unhappy with your health, the way you look, life experiences? What is it that's going on? And maybe it's even you're unhappy where you're at. I mean, if you know who I've been, and you've been following me for so many years, and I've traveled all over this country, bouncing from place to place and just trying to find myself. And believe it or not, geological location of it plays a little bit of a role in where you're going to be. Of course, nothing trumps personal happiness, internal love, etc. But if you're not happy where you live, that might play a little bit of part in it too. Maybe you're one of those, like millions all over the world, that that relationships just never seem to work out. And me too. I've had some very toxic relationships that have caused me some major pain, but brought me the biggest lessons in life. But maybe you're one of those that every time you try, you kind of have that attitude now, well, why bother trying? Why should I try to go out and find my happiness, to go get the new job, or to go do whatever I need to, when just nothing ever seems to work out, especially when it comes to, our romantic lifestyle. And even our friends seem non-existent. I know for us older souls, I'm a loner. I love my own quiet time. I was actually talking to Sandra today about that, and we were, and she was asking, she's like, well, she's like, doesn't it bother you that you live by yourself all the time? And I said, no, it doesn't. I enjoy my space. I enjoy my time. Sure, I love when company comes over. Like, I'm really enjoying that she's with me. I love seeing my friends when I choose to. But I really love the quiet time. I really love spending time with me. And that is huge in personal happiness, because if we don't like spending time with ourselves, then there's some unresolved issues that we have that just that haunt us, that are constantly knocking on the door and letting you know that that these issues need to be dealt with. So but a lot of us, some of us have it all. We have the house, we have the children, we have the husband or the wife, we have the cars, we have everything, but yet something still seems amiss. And so what is it that's missing? And you don't know how many times I ask people just simple questions: who, what, when, where, why? And they can't answer a single one. And so if we're struggling for personal happiness, it's because we've never taken the time to get to know ourselves. We've never taken the time to get to know, what is it that's bugging us? What is it that's ailing us? What is it that's haunting us, that keeps us up at night, that keeps our mind going? Because anybody who has a mind that races, especially at night, usually has some internal emotional trauma that's going on that they have yet to resolve. And if you're one of those that are super sensitive, if you're sensitive to energies, if you're sensitive to people, if you're sensitive, especially like if I take this incident with the Las Vegas shooting, I mean, I don't know. I watch social media and so many people. This is a very sad and tragic event, but so many people took it as if they lost their own lives, and they identify with that because they're relating to their own pain, and that tells you that there is some hurt, that there is some ghosts of your past that are still haunting you every single day. And so we have to learn to sympathize and understand each other without connecting on that empathetic level of creating our own sorrow and connecting so that we become that sorrow. Because let me tell you something like this with Las Vegas, for many people, it has ruined their it has brought them back to that point of pain in their own life. And if a lot of you would probably agree with me here too, that a lot of us will do that when we see something tragic, when we see something that causes us pain. Where does our mind and our heart go? It always goes to that boyfriend or girlfriend that totally screwed us over, or that job that we got fired from, or whatever that really sharp pain. Maybe we got bullied as a kid, or whatever it is. It always goes to the things that are bothering you most. And, like I said, believe it or not, I have traveled, I have met a lot of people in this world. Not them all, I hope to meet. But I've never met anyone that is truly happy. Truly 100% happy, or even has it all together. Most of us, will put on that show. Well, we like to show that tough exterior, like nothing bothers us, that we have to keep going, we have to keep moving. And no matter how much a person has it together, I guarantee you a conversation with me and we will find out right away that there are a lot of things that you choose not to acknowledge. And that is the pain, that is the suffering, that is what is going to keep you guessing at where your personal happiness is, where your fulfillment is. If we continue, because I get it, I get it with tough people. I used to be one of those tough people. In Chicago, we were taught, guys, girls, it didn't matter. You don't cry, you fight with each other, you demand respect, you do all these different things. And, you couldn't show emotion because that's not the way. And so we grew up in the best way, and I still do this to my close friends, is I tease you. The more I tease you, the more I, joke around with you, the more I like you. It's when I don't talk to you is when I don't have a liking. And, but I used to be one of those tough people. I would never let my emotions show because I saw it as a sign of weakness. I thought that if someone saw me cry, if someone saw me break down, that they were going to judge me. And you know what? They do, don't they? How many of us can say that, we have, whether it was in grade school or even now as an adult, especially for you men, I feel sorry because, guys get taunted all the time. If a guy shows emotion, they call him gay or faggot or a girl, and they put him down like as if he's less than a man. And I'm sorry, but in my mind, if a guy is in touch with his emotional side and he has a deep understanding and has respect for not only his sex but the other sex, then absolutely, I think that's what a man is about. But you know what? Our society makes it that way. We purposely put ourselves in these situations where you have no choice but to be tough. And tough people, believe it or not, are unhappy. They are. They're, people, the toughness inside of you, the smile behind the tears, or the sadness behind the clown's mask, or whatever. This is what happens. They're sad, they're depressed, and they don't show it because in their own home, that's when they ponder it. That's when they get reminded of it. And a lot of people, this is why you don't like to spend time with yourself. Personal happiness can have many factors. It can come from many different ways. But I will tell you, nothing material or nothing outside you can give you personal happiness. And, a lot of people will say, well, yes, Miss Raina, I was unhappy with myself until I married this person. That's not pure happiness. You are happy because of something that was added into your life that, yes, true, may give you some form of happiness, but you take that away and you go right back. So it's kind of like a Band-Aid. And this is where we try to fool ourselves sometimes, especially with the tough people. The tough people sometimes are quick to anger, or they shut down completely where they show no emotion. They pretend to smile. They want to almost like, it's almost like a fake life. And how many of you wear masks? How many of you sit there and actually will, go out and you actually really contemplate, okay, I have to go see my family, so I have to smile. And you're dreading the drive, and you go over there and you have to put on the smile, and you just, and it gets here. You got to go to work, and you got to deal with people that you're not happy with, or maybe you're just not happy and everybody else is, or it seems that way. And you just got to fake it till you make it, or you're just trying to push along. The mask is a very painful thing to wear. And it's very draining. It's when you are fighting who you are, when you are fighting the ideas of what you are, and you are fighting the social conditionings of your mind, it spends all that time and energy to hold that up. I don't know how many times how many of you that are, that deal with unhappiness or sadness or depression are constantly fatigued. You're constantly tired because you're spending so much energy trying to create this image that you want. And because it's not pure, it drains you constantly. And we have to change this. We have to be able to look at it, and not put the fake mask on as if we're happy, as if we've got it together, as if we know what we're doing. Because we fool ourselves. And the longer you fool yourselves, the longer you stay in this position. I don't know how to put it any more frank than that. We have to stop fooling ourselves and look at ourselves. The only way that you are going to find what you want in life, life is going to be the way it is. We can't have control over things like Las Vegas shooting or things that are going on. The only thing you can 100% control is your life and your actions. And how you respond to things, how you respond to your own emotional challenges, your own emotional turmoil, the things that you believe, the things that you think that make you are. That's what I'm talking about. So if we continue to fool ourselves and say, yes, we're happy just because we want to pretend like we're happy, that is not going to bring you anywhere closer. I was having a conversation with an old client of mine a few days ago, and we were talking about that. And, this person said to me, they said, Miss Raina, I remember when I first came to you. I remember that every day I used to sit in front of you and act like I was all happy and act like nothing bothered me. And you would be like, well, why are you here then? If you're happy and you're this and you're all together, then why are you here? Because there's something. And this person was saying that they would go out, they would go do their work and meet with their family, even with their partner, that they would always act like everything's together, and they would always be so exhausted. They were always trying to make like it seemed, because they believed that if they, created this image, that it would eventually come into fruition, but it didn't. And they were like, after finally, facing my fears, facing my challenges, facing my pain, facing the things that haunt me, after truly facing them and working through them and accepting them, as I went on to each challenge, as I went on to each thing, my energy got lighter. My heart got lighter. I had more energy day by day by day. And the funny thing is this person didn't even realize it was happening until they realized that they've been back working out again, 4 or 5 days a week and sleeping, with a cycle and everything else. Their body was shifting back because it was becoming more in line with who they were. So this is something that we have to take a look at. We'll be right back after these messages from the Life of Reyna.
A message from the Life of Reyna. We live in a world faced with many tough challenges. Our lives become chaotic and filled with disaster ever so quickly, most of the time before we even realize. Our issues beat down our mental mindset, and an imbalance of emotions become prevalent. The Life of Reyna is dedicated to helping people on the deepest spiritual level. Miss Raina, the creator of Transcendental Development and Growth, works on your core issues and finds the solutions which allow you to break free from the emotional bondages of life, helping you achieve the life you've always wanted to live. Isn't it time that you lived life for you? Call the Life of Reyna 561-846-2190 and schedule your appointment today. That's 561-846-2190. Or email thelifeofreyna@icloud.com.
Okay, we are back. You are listening to Miss Raina and Transcendental Transformation Radio Show. Excuse me, I'm losing my throat already. If you'd like to give us a call us in at 561-623-9429 or web chat us. I'm staring here at the website on the w4cy.com website. So if you are attracted to this show, it's for a reason. If this show caught your eye on social media, or all of a sudden you saw it on the Facebook Live or the W4CY website, or you tuned it on and all of a sudden you said, wow, this is something I want to listen to. It's because this is what you're looking for. We are attracted to the ideas that we're looking for the most. And that's why we become addicted to the things that we want the most, is because the things that we can't have are the things that we follow the easiest. And so, this show tells you that you're looking, and I'm proud of you guys. I really am. I'm proud of you for trying to take those steps into the direction that you want to go. Because let me tell you something, to find your own personal happiness or follow your bliss, as they say, is very tough. It is extremely tough to do. It is easy to live in lies, in belief systems, in this world that doesn't exist, or in your world that doesn't exist, that you've created, that's almost like a false sense of yourself. It is easy to live in that, but it's at the same time it's exhausting. It is very difficult and challenging to face who you are and to face the past hurts of your past. So the question I'm going to ask you guys is this, is again, what are you looking for? What does your personal happiness look like? What are the things that are stopping you from your personal happiness? If you had it, would you know? Do you know the things that are blocking you? What are the things that are creating the unfulfillment inside you? Because that, I always say that the brain is dumb, the brain is blind, the heart tells us all. So you can fool yourself into everything. But let me tell you something. You listen to me or somebody else and you get that turn in your heart or that resistance in your heart, and your heart is telling you that this is a topic or this idea or this belief system is creating either your chaos or something you need to go towards. So why do you still have a lot of unhappiness? Say like you do have the great job, say like you do have the perfect husband or wife, say like you do have the nice house and the kids and stuff, but something still seems missing. Tell me why. Tell me what it is that we're looking for. And that's the problem, isn't it? That's the one thing that I always get asked is, Miss Raina, I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know what's going to make me happy. I don't know what makes me unhappy. I seem to have it. Or maybe maybe our relationships, like I said, in the beginning, our relationships, maybe we are someone that's a hopeless romantic and we're, 30, 40, 50 years old or something, and you think the clock is expired on you and that's just creating chaos. Maybe you have it all and still something's missing. If you seem to have it all, or everything else around you seems like it's smooth, but yet there's something empty inside of you, then this is what we're looking for. And this is the link to your past. Our past haunts us. Our past, did you know that most of us do not understand that we take unresolved pain and hurt for an unfulfilled feeling? Did you know that? Most of us mistake unresolved pain and hurt for the unfulfillment. And kind of the two go hand in hand. Even if you study health and that people feel hungry, right? Sometimes you eat and you still feel hungry afterwards. They mistake that for thirst. Sometimes your body's craving water and you mistake it for hunger. And so you eat more thinking that you're going to quench your appetite, but really it's craving water. So it's trying to get anything it can because yes, food has water in it, but it really sometimes, that's why they say if you drink a lot of water, your appetite will be suppressed. True, your stomach is a little bit more full, but it's the same concept and it's the same idea. And so a lot of times when we have that missing piece, it's because our unresolved pain to our past is haunting us. It reminds us, it's knocking on the door and saying, hey, whoever it is, deal with me. I'm sitting here, and a lot of times it stems with our childhood. Our childhood, we come into this world all bright-eyed, right? We have an imagination. We want to come in and, we don't know any better, and we look at our parents, the two people that are supposed to protect us, and maybe we don't have the relationship that we should have with our parents. Maybe one of them is gone, maybe the other is, or maybe they're non-existent, or maybe you had great parents, but you got bullied as a child, or maybe you had gender issues, or maybe whatever the issues are. And so I tell you, if you want to find what is going on, we must go back to that time. You must look back at that time and find that little boy or find that little girl and figure out why it's still crying. Figure out why it's so upset. And you may think, well, Miss Raina, this sounds like a bunch of nonsense or whatever, but I'm telling you, it works. Because I've done it for thousands of people all over the country. I've done it for so many people. And when I bring people back to those points, when I look at it and say, you may know, but you may be too afraid. You may know the exact place where you need to go, but you're too afraid of it. You cannot be afraid of the past. The past doesn't exist. The past is just a form of consciousness that exists only in the mind. And it fools you every day. It fools you into thinking it's real. It fools you into thinking that it's right there happening right now. And so people who live in fear, people who have anxiety, people who have these things live in the past every day because whatever trauma that's happened in the past haunts them still to this minute. And, of course, it's easy to confuse our pain with unhappiness, isn't it? If we don't know what we're looking for, and we've never really been taught this, have we? Like I said in previous shows, how many times do I say, well, school teaches us math, English, science, but how many teaches us how to handle life? And I really hope school programs learn to start teaching children at young ages how to deal with themselves in life, how to accept others, how to do these things, because they don't. And if we had classes on this stuff, I don't think we would have half the issues we would. But because we're the type that push, we gotta go, and we make sure that we're totally immersed in our work. And we do that. We want to work. And I'm a workaholic sometimes, but when I was in pain, I made sure I worked. Why? Because it was a distraction. But your heart knows every day. You can be totally distracted for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. But when you go to sleep, you have nightmares. Or you can't go to sleep because your brain starts going. Because it's trying to catch up on all the times you shut it down. And you have to be able to tell yourself, you know what, hey, I'm worth it. Aren't you worth it? Aren't you worth the time and effort? Haven't you spent enough time being angry? Haven't you spent enough time being sad and depressed and living in anxiety and whatever? I know for me and every person that has come see me, I know they get to that point where they're just like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of living, and they say it a lot of times, I'm tired of living a lie. I have to put on a uniform for this. I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to say this so I don't aggravate this person. I have to act this way. I can't type this on social media. I can't do this. And it's nothing but restrictions. It's nothing but shutting down ourselves and be able to do that. Tough people feel the most unfulfilled. We do. And you have to learn to let go of that toughness. That means people who suck it up, I consider tough. People who push through anything, consider tough. There's a time and place for that. But the people who keep moving without rest, those are tough people, but not in reality. You're tricking yourself. You're exhausting yourself. The body is meant to rest. The mind needs rest. The heart needs rest. But if you're constantly going, this is why you never feel achieved. How many of you do that? How many of you work so hard, but no matter how many goals you achieve, you still feel like you haven't achieved it? And that's what I'm talking about inside. It doesn't mean you're tough, people. It doesn't. Someone who's tough, someone who's truly tough doesn't need to show it. Tough people live in fear. They're afraid of failure. If you're afraid of failure, then you're trying to put on that. You know what? I don't believe in failure. I don't believe in that, because that's a term that that creates a limitation in the mind and allows you to stop doing what you're doing. I look at everything as a lesson. And lessons teach us. You know, even though it was Nikola Tesla that truly invented the light bulb and it wasn't Bell, he got the credit for it. But, the old saying goes, how many times did it take to invent the light bulb? It took 1001. Well, so does that mean 1000 times he failed? No. He learned how to make it closer and closer and closer until he found out what worked. That's not failure. That's not failure. And you can't be afraid of that. You can't be afraid of facing something. I mean, geez, if that was the case, I would sometimes consider myself, especially when I first started in this, I would consider myself a big failure, because there was how many businesses that I tried to start up that didn't go anywhere. But it taught me a little something more about myself and my ideas and where I wanted to go. And it narrowed things down to the point where I knew exactly who I was, where I wanted to go, and what I did. And you know what? I consider this show a success, even if there's only one person that listens to it. Why? Because I chased after what I know that suits me. And that's what success is. That's what fulfillment is. That's what true happiness is. Every day I live my life in accordance to my ideas, not my morals, not my values, because those are judgments. The minute I set a moral and a value on somebody else, I'm judging them, and that will create anger. That will create pain. That will create suffering. You can act, tough people, yes, you guys are sensitive. A lot of people are sensitive. Older souls are coming in this world. And so there's a lot of sensitivity. And it's hard to live in a world of fear. It's hard to live in a world of pain and suffering and seen as weak. But you know what? I'm telling you this, the harder you try to fool everybody, the easier it is for everybody to see who you are. Because everybody else can see that it's not you. You may think that you're fooling everyone, that you're acting like, don't mess with me, don't do this. And trust me, I was one of those people too. But every time I looked at somebody like that, I said, I could see it was an act. Genuineness can't be fooled. People see people that are genuine. They know when an act is genuine. When I say I care about things, I care about it. If those words don't come out of my mouth, then I don't. And I'm not going to live in that lie. I won't do it. So you have to be able to find fulfillment within yourself by aligning yourself with what's going on. If you act in that anger, if you're constantly angry because you're fighting ideals within yourself, judgments, morals, values, all these things. I know so many people. Would you believe I've already lost a group of people, and I didn't even really post anything on this Las Vegas thing because I didn't agree with what they said. And it's like we delete each other, we kick each other off, we fight because we think that these ideas are going to make us who we are. If I stand by the flag, then I am this, and that's who it is. And anybody that doesn't do that, then they're not like me. And we create pain. You are creating your own pain. You are creating your own anger. The more you judge someone else, the more you do these things, the more you're in pain. Fulfillment and happiness rely on some other things too. It relies on your voice, or our voice. And the voice doesn't mean my scratchy voice that you're hearing right now. It's more than just speaking. True, it means speaking your truth. It means talking. It means being in line with honesty and loyalty. But it means self-expression. Who are you? What makes your heart sing? Most of us live, most of us live in those restrictions. How many of you would love to do things? And I had this conversation with Sandra the other day too. I said, I never wanted to be one of those people, because growing up, I heard all my aunts, uncles, my parents, everybody say would have, could have, should have. I wish I would have done this. I could have done this. I should have done this. And and they conformed because they thought, well, if I'm in business, I have to act and dress this way. If I do this, I have to act and dress this way. If I believe this, I have to act and dress this way. And it's all these rules. We are meant to be free people. We are meant to express ourselves and allow our vibrations to resonate. Our body is moving. Our energy is moving. The only thing that's not moving is our conditionings inside our head that tell us that this is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad. And it's going against who you are. I mean, I know so many people that come up to me constantly, and anybody who's a free spirit, anybody, and say, I wish I could be like you. I wish I had that gumption to go out and do the things I do. And you do. You are just as brave as that person who's a free spirit, or that person who's a free spirit. You're just as knowledgeable as this person or that person. You are just as capable as anyone you see that you wish to aspire to. You are just as capable. But the only difference is we choose to live in our hearts. We choose to say, okay, yes, there's these rules. And honestly, the rules I live by are don't harm anyone else, don't judge anyone, be honest, be loyal, and don't hurt anyone. That's what I live by every day. I don't care about politics, religion. I don't care about any of that stuff, because it doesn't make me who I am. And when I was growing up and I was conditioned to certain ideas, it created anger. I lost friends because I was closed-minded to see difference. I couldn't accept that because I thought this was the way it is, and if you didn't believe this, then this would happen. And it was the same with religion or anything. And we fight over this. I mean, I have people that are that really are comparing, like how about, one of the big topics here in America are the kneeling of the football, right? All the football athletes kneeling in the anthem. And I mean, this is ridiculous. You have a country founded on freedom of speech, that tried to get away from tyranny, that tried to get away from all these rules and punishments and everything. And people have fought and died for everyone to have free speech, to have self-expression. But you know what's funny is people agree with free speech as long as it's agreed with their ideas. So the people that agree with kneeling are fighting with the people that don't agree with it. And the people that don't agree with the kneeling are calling and saying that, oh, they're not Americans, they're not this. No, it is an American right. It is a human right to be able to express yourself and be fulfilled and be free in that sense. And this is all these ideas come together. If we take the Las Vegas shooting, who knows? I don't have a story on them, and I'm not going to judge someone for their actions, even as horrific as it is. I was not there. I don't know what this guy was about. I don't know anything about that other than these were so-called the facts. And even then, I don't ever just believe the mainstream story, because we know how many times that's false. But you know what? I wasn't there, and I'm not going to judge someone. Maybe someone I don't agree with, someone shooting someone, if that's what really happened. But apparently this guy's personal happiness was so distraught, so turned up. He was so angry, so lost, that in his mind, he thought that he was probably solving the issue. He was venting. He was expressing himself. And as crazy as that is, this is what the human mind and the human body is capable if we don't go towards who we are. When we let our anger fester, when we let our animosity, when we let our judgment fester, we take it out on others. But more importantly, we take it out on ourselves. People can't handle differences. If you can't handle somebody else's difference, well, I'm sorry, I'm going to be blunt, but that's being closed-minded. That's not being free. If you think you're open-minded, but you can't hear somebody else's belief systems or way of thinking or opinions, then this is, and it's okay to have strong opinions. Hey, I have strong ways. I do. But that doesn't mean if I have a conversation with someone and we totally don't see eye to eye, that doesn't mean I'm not going to look at that person any less. I value that person still the same because I value myself. I know that person is doing their best at that just like I'm doing my best. And you know what? That's all we're trying to do, right? That's it. I don't restrict my mind, and you don't need to either. Restriction to an idea here and there will cause this. People really aren't upset that people are kneeling. They're upset because that idea is taken away from the conditioning that they're taught. Because how many times are we taught, well, if you don't do this, then you're not this? How many times do we hear that? I hear that on radio stations, on TV, newspapers. If you don't act this way, then you're not American. If you don't do this, then you're this. If you don't do this, then you're not this. And it's this fine line of judgment that's narrow walking. It's like a tightrope with a noose around your neck. And if you fall off, you're going to hang yourself. And how many times do we do? We have to let go. You have to let go of these glued ideas of who we are and get to know who you truly are. Because as tough as I say, people, and I know a lot of people, especially when they first start listening to me, disagree with me on this, but a lot of what we believe has been conditioned to us and told, and a lot of it's lies. A lot of it creates your pain. A lot of it does. And you create your judgment. You shouldn't believe in anything other than yourself. It doesn't matter if there's a god or goddess, or if there's 10 gods or gods. It shouldn't matter if there's Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Green Party. It shouldn't matter if there's China, United States, Russia. It matters that we show compassion to ourselves. It matters that we show understanding to ourselves. It matters that we do these things. If I talk about desire and drive, because we got like about 6 or 7 minutes left, 8 minutes left, something like that. Desire and drive is 100% in your control. Our health, believe it or not, our health, and I get this conversation all the time, but our health alters our happiness. And, it's hard to believe. If you don't think that the food that you put in your mouth alters your state of mind, alters your feeling, if you don't believe that, well, then you better go on Google and start researching all this stuff, because there are studies all over the place. And everybody who changes their lifestyle tells you that there's just a different feeling when you eat healthier things. You're happy because the energy, and our bodies are energy, right? So our bodies are energy, and it's free flowing. The energy is light. It moves very fast. When you eat junk food, processed stuff, meats and stuff, your body slows down. It's harder to break down, and your body slows. And so it doesn't make the cells happy. When you eat fruits and vegetables and things that grains and certain nuts and stuff that your body can take in and absorb right away, it maximizes the absorption and the nutrients. And it makes the cells in your body happy. And you lose weight. You have more energy. And this is worldwide. This is not nothing new. In 2016, we had a peer-reviewed study of 12,000 people that added fruits and vegetables, that they really didn't eat fruits and vegetables, and they added up to 8 servings daily. And it showed that everybody across the board had an increased life satisfaction feeling within themselves. They felt healthier. It almost as if they got a new job. You ever get a new job and all of a sudden you're all excited and you're like, yeah, I just got that job. I'm excited. And it was that type of feeling. And so if food has that type of effect, if your lifestyle has that type of effect on you, maybe that's one of the areas that you struggle with. And it is difficult. Change is difficult. You didn't get this way overnight, and so you can't expect you to change overnight. Don't put pressure on yourself to understand the universe within a week. Don't put pressure on yourself to throw out everything in your kitchen and be a raw vegan, and loving it within a week. It's not possible, and it's not reality. With regular diet, exercise, actually, I like to call it lifestyle. And that, yes, it allows the toxins to be removed, the cells to heal, the organs to work properly, the liver to clean the blood, the kidneys, everything, the hormone production, the dopamine. I mean, when we work out, what happens? The dopamine goes nuts, right? It's like a little party in our head. And so it feels good. I know I had that infection for 1 week in my toe, and it still kind of hurts. And I finally worked out yesterday, and I was like a happy little lamb, like all jumping around and giddy and stuff. But before that, I started to get cranky. I was like, because my body wasn't moving. The last thing I want to talk about before we head out is, drive and desire also for you old souls. I know a lot of people who have listened to this show over the years, a lot of them are old souls. They want deeper meaning. Drive and desire rely on deeper meaning. That means deep meaning connections with the things around you. And mostly yourself. A lot of times the biggest mistake that older souls make is the fact that we are looking for those deep meaning connections with other people. And yes, those are important, but we forget about the fundamental connection with ourselves. And, yes, it's important to have connection with other people. I mean, I'm a loner, but I still like to, go and see my friends once in a while, go have family come over. It's nice to do that. But because I have that deep, meaningful connection with myself, those things are not a necessity, but a luxury. It's a pleasure. It's just an added bonus to it. So if, in fact, a lot of us feel separated and distant and alone, and that's because you're not connected with yourself. You're not going to find that connection. Even with my protege, I told him, he was like, I just don't understand. He's like, and I said, hey, a lot of people in the world are not going to give you the connection you are looking for. And the deeper, the more meaningful connection is going to be fewer and far between. And not because people aren't capable of it. It's because people are guarded. They're angry, they're defended, and people don't want to show you who they are because they've been hurt. They've opened their heart up, and someone took their heart, stabbed it in a million pieces, and ran it over a few times and left and said, see you later. And so a lot of people are guarded. And so it takes a while to find someone to build that trust and to finally let them open. But when people know that you're genuine, when people know that you're looking for the same thing that they are, and that you're honest and loyal and compassionate and understanding, people are going to open up to you. You have to change yourself first. Your relationships, everything, your friendships. I know you want those relationships and friendships that rock your world, that just explode fireworks inside you. I know that. But loyal, reliable, honest, and family-like, those are important qualities, and they must be attained if you're looking for that deep connection. So I want you guys to stop judging yourselves and stop judging each other. I want you guys to stop being angry with each other. There's a lot of things we can fight about. Stop. Just stop. Who cares if someone wants to kneel for the anthem because they believe that that's what their peaceful way of doing something, then let them. If somebody wants to stand on the sign, on the corner with a sign and they're not hurting anyone, let them. If they want to believe that they're a Democrat or Republican, let them. If they want to believe in a God or Jesus or Mohammed or whatever, let them. Just concern yourself with you about being understanding, about being compassionate, and release the guilt. All right, everybody, that is tonight's show. My throat is almost out. I can barely talk. As you can hear, it's starting to go out. So if you'd like to follow us, you can follow us on our Facebook at facebook.com/Transcendental Transformation Radio Show. That's all one word. Follow us on our YouTube at youtube.com, Transcendental Transformation Radio Show. Visit our website, soulandspiritguide.com, and sign up for our newsletter. If you'd like to write in the show, email us at transcendentaltransformation transcendentalnations@gmail.com, and make sure you visit the W4CY website. All right, everybody, remember to believe in yourself, and it's not our abilities or our talents that make us who we are, but it is our choices. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.